Hey guys, today we're sewing the perfect oversized t-shirt. The fit of the shirt is nice and boxy, and of course we have drop shoulders. You can find the link to the pattern in the video description down below. If you don't want to miss the next sewing tutorials, feel free to subscribe to my channel. And if you like the shirt, I would be very happy about every thumbs up. And first of all, in this tutorial I will be using my normal sewing machine, the Singer HD 6335M, but also my Yuki overlock machine, the MO50EN, because I want the shirt to be as close to the industry standard as possible. To create a 100% accurate industry standard t-shirt, I would also need a cover lock machine, but I don't have one of these either. If you only have a normal sewing machine, no problem at all. I will try to explain everything within this framework, and every part with the overlock machine is just a nice add-on. But what do we actually need to sew the perfect oversized t-shirt?
Approximately 1.5 meters of fabric, e.g. cotton jersey or French terry, the appropriate sewing needles, stretch and universal, a normal presser foot and an edge sewing foot, sewing thread in the same color as the fabric, an iron, a pair of scissors, a seam ripper, and tailor's chalk or a colored pencil. Once we have all our stuff together, we need to prepare our pattern. To do this, we lay all the A4 pages in front of us in the correct order and cut everything perfectly along the edges. Then we need to glue all the small individual pieces together to make our final pattern pieces using sellotape. Now we can start cutting. The back and front are cut on the fold. This means that you fold your fabric once, so wide that the pattern piece fits perfectly in width. Then place the inside of the pattern piece on the folded edge. This is also called the fold. Fix the whole thing, then draw the outline, or you can cut directly along the edge of the pattern. Of course, we also need a right and a left sleeve. It is a good idea to fold the fabric so that you can simply lay the sleeve pattern piece on top and cut out the two matching pieces directly from the two layers. The collar and the narrow collar band, which we will need later for finishing, are also cut out, and now pay attention. You will see a line like this on the edge of the sleeve on the pattern. Mark this spot, as there is the same line on the pattern piece of the front. These lines are there so that you can align the sleeve perfectly when you insert it. In the next step, we iron all our cutout parts in an exemplary manner. This is to counteract the subtle shrinkage factor that will occur when the shirt is washed for the first time. Now we can lay the back and front pieces on top of each other, right sides facing, i.e. the nice, unbrushed or felt coated layer of fabric. I can give you the tip, especially at the beginning, just mark the wrong side of the fabric on all pieces to be on the safe side. If you have tunnel vision, it can easily happen that you sew the wrong sides together. We then fix the shoulder seams, and now, very importantly, we need an elastic stitch in many places for this entire project. I have two options for this on my sewing machine. The instruction manual should explain how you can set this on your sewing machine. You really need to use this type of stitch, because I can tell you from my experience that if you don't use this setting with stretch fabrics, the seams will simply rip open, and that is extremely annoying. In any case, we can now sew the shoulder seams with this setting. I simply sew along the edge of the fabric with the edge of the presser foot. I maintain this distance from the seam edge throughout the entire t-shirt. I finish both shoulder edges with the overlock. If you don't have one, you can also check your instruction manual to see what kind of overlock stitch your normal sewing machine has and use it to finish the edges. Now place the seam allowances towards the front and press the seam from the top. And we come to the only difficult part of a t-shirt. The collar. We take our collar piece and place the two ends right sides together and sew this section together. We then fold the collar piece in half lengthwise, making sure that the piece is sewn together seam to seam, and place the collar right sides facing with the opening facing upwards on the collar neckline of the shirt. Now pay really close attention. We take the middle of the collar, the point with the seam, and place this point in the middle of the back. Then halve the collar and position this point in the middle of the front. Now separate the collar and the collar neckline in half again and place the center points on top of each other. So everything is quartered evenly once. This is done because now we have to stretch the collar when sewing, and this is not easy. If you don't succeed the first time, simply undo the seam and try again. When stretching, you have to make sure that you stretch the collar before and after after the presser foot. The fabric of the collar neckline of the shirt must not be stretched to the same extent. For each quarter collar section, I can only recommend that you always stretch the collar a little more than the quarter section of the collar neckline is long. When you get to the clip, there should still be a little more collar than collar neckline left. This is important because you only realize at the end whether you have enough collar or too much fabric from the collar neckline. I also overlocked all this stuff, and now we're going to clean up this overlapping inner seam allowance with our bias tape piece. We attached the inner collar seam allowance with the right side facing inwards, with a small strip folded inwards vertically on the right and left, and sew it in place close to the edge. Then fold the bias tape around the seam allowance once and top stitch close to the edge with a straight stitch without a stretch stitch. Then we take our edge sewing foot, set the stitch length to 4 and make a top stitch. Straight stitch without a stretch stitch. Make sure that the fabric is always discreetly taut when sewing and does not look too pulled together. Next, I overlock the two bottom hem edges of the shirt and the hem edges of the sleeve openings. This will be important later. Without an overlock, you can do this with a type of overlock stitch on your normal sewing machine, or you can take a look at the other method, which I will show you later. In any case, we can now insert the sleeves. Pay attention to the markings from the beginning. Fasten everything neatly with right sides together using clips and then sew together using the stretch stitch. I finished the whole thing again with the overlock. Next, we lay our shirt, including the sewn on sleeves, right sides together and secure both outer edges with clips, as these will also be sewn together with a stretch stitch in the next step and then overlocked. And we are almost finished. In the next step, I fold the hem of the bottom t-shirt opening inwards by approximately 2 cm. I do the same for the sleeve openings. Then I iron all the edges once all the way around. I use the stretch stitch to finish the hems. I finished these parts with the overlock beforehand, as this prevents the fabric from fraying after washing, for example, or the hem from turning outwards after washing. If you don't have an overlock, you can simply fold in 1 cm and then another 1.5 cm and then simply sew the strip down. This also looks great and serves the same purpose. And that's it. Our oversized shirt is finished. And I think it's just super clean. For me, it's the perfect fit for a classic boxy oversized shirt with drop shoulders. The sleeves go perfectly to the elbows, the collar fits, and so does the length. In my opinion, basic pieces like t-shirts, hoodies and so on are incredibly difficult to get to fit perfectly. So I'm all the happier that it worked out so well here. If you ever sew a shirt like this, feel free to send me your results on Instagram. I always find it super exciting to see what others conjure up.
If you liked the video, then I'm definitely happy about every thumbs up. Feel free to let me know in the comments how you liked the video, and if you got any more suggestions or questions, please also let me know. See you in the next video. Until then, have fun sewing.